I'm Dan Johnson, I am the boys tennis coach. Boy, I don't know if there's anyone that's never heard of tennis, but basically you have two people on opposite sides of the net, hit the ball in the court, see if you can win a point. So we're going to spend about the first 15 minutes of hitting, just getting warmed up and practicing some serves. We might play matches against each other to get used to matches. We might do some drills where we rotate through, and then we actually spend a lot of practice time working on the doubles game, because most players who come to high school have never played doubles before, and it's a pretty big important part of every match. Yes, unfortunately we have had a lot of cancellations this year. Not only if it's raining during that time, but it takes a long time for the courts to dry. So if it's been a pretty good rain in the morning, there's a good chance we'll even have to cancel practice that afternoon. Because if you play on a slippery court, that's where people get hurt. We do have tryouts depending on how many players go out, and we do possibly make cuts. So again, it really depends on how many players go out. This year we did not make any cuts. We had a very few people try out. We hope that number increases next year. With tennis at Evergreen, it's really a wide variety of players. We are a very good team. We've been the A-League champion for 3 years in a row. So we have a lot of really good players, but there's also room for players who are just learning the game. As long as they can hit the ball fairly consistently and know how to serve, we can work with them. If they're not at that level yet, we would suggest they play until they can get at that level. But you certainly do not need to be a great player to try out and be part of the team. So in our league, there is only varsity, there is no JV, but what we do is at the end of every match, everybody that did not play in a varsity match plays against the other team's extras. Some coaches call those JV matches, some call it exhibition matches, but there is no formal JV team in our league. Yes, the beautiful thing about tennis is that if you have a friend that plays tennis, the two of you can go out and play at any point in time that you want. You don't need a whole lot of people to play. And even if it's just you, there are plenty of walls around where you can just hit the ball off the wall to get used to playing.
I think what I really like about tennis is the competitive nature of the sport, especially because it requires like a lot of consistency, a lot of practice, a lot of skill.
The hardest part is after you practice, you feel like you got it, but then the next day you go and try it again and you completely lost it. And then you're completely doing it terrible, and then you can't hit a stroke right for some reason. So like the day-to-day, the consistency is like almost random, but like when you practice more, you get like better and better.
Yeah, so there is the top 4 players on the team, which they normally play singles 1 through 4, and then normally it's the next 6 best players. They play doubles 1, 2, and 3.
I think when we play against teams like Westmont or Leland, like we have a lot of fun because it's really competitive.
Yeah, tennis has tournaments, but it's more of an individual thing. Every person has to sign up for an outside tournament themselves, and then they give you a rating. Like the outside score rating is like a UTR, which is a pretty good system in my opinion to determine someone's skill. And the rest of the league matches, they also count towards their UTR as well, which is nice.
For people coming into high school sports, especially like tennis, I feel like it's really about developing like a passion and that determination, because when you really have fun on the court and when you're like working with the team, it just makes everything a lot better.
Join UHS Tennis!
Is that good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.